This is a forgotten Victorian outdoor swimming pool in Whitley Bay. In between Whitley Bay and Cullercoats are Table Rocks, an impressive variety of rock formations that became an unlikely tourist attraction in the late 19th century and the turn into the 20th century. Taking a dip into the freezing waters of the North Sea was a popular pastime, with Regency and Victorian doctors prescribing ocean water and coastal air to cure major diseases such as tuberculosis, as well as shrink tumours and relieve melancholy. The rocks naturally had a tidal pool shape created from a natural inlet in the rock formations, measuring 6 metres by 3.5 metres. On the 27th of July 1894, the natural pool was formally developed as a bathing pool by Mr. W. Scott. The popularity of the pool grew so much that it was extended in 1908 to 70 feet, when it was under the control of the Whitley and Monkseaton Council, creating an even larger outdoor swimming pool that would fill naturally with the tide and having the somewhat safety of the rocks around. Let's take a closer look at the tidal pool, shall we? You can go down these steps on the promenade and follow the path around to the left. This part of the coast is quite bare, with being in between the two coastal towns of Whitley Bay and Cullercoats, but this is such a unique historic gem and it's such a really cool feature on the north coast that I don't think a lot of people know about. We carry on left for another 30 seconds or so, and then we're going to come up to the steps that lead down to the Victorian Table Rocks pool. I was so surprised at being able to get so close to the edge, with the steps leading down to the pool being still there and usable. I never trust the North Sea as it can change in an instant, so I didn't go any closer or down the steps, but it was really great to see the tidal pool at perfect conditions. Low tide enough to see the cavity filled with the sea, but not too much that I was completely submerged. A small changing hut was added after a few years, but was blown away 4 years later by a gale. Nothing seems to survive the harsh northern weather. There was also steps cut into the pool and a rope rail fastened to the sides with metal rings, and you can still see some of those today. I love the surface of the rocks. You would think that they've been levelled off and put that way, but it's completely unique and natural. Can you imagine that this pool was quite the stylish place to be? In 1910 and beyond, the Whitley and Monkseaton Bathing Club would make use of the fresh waters here, dressed in their official red and black swimming costumes, complete with a winkle motif. It is believed in the later years of the club's history, a gold-plated winkle shell was given to each member, and the local ladies and gentlemen would show each other their winkles to show they were part of this exclusive club. It looks like the swimming costumes were right in vogue after the Swimmers and Table Rocks tidal pool was featured in an LNER poster advertising the coast to industrial workers to choose as their destination with their precious time off. I think if I was working over a loom in a factory or going down the mines or building ships, This beautiful view would definitely be a sight for sore eyes. We're so lucky to have this coastline on our doorstep. Have you ever wondered what gave Whitley Bay its name? This town was originally known as Whitley, which was frequently confused with Whitby in North Yorkshire, with mail often being misdirected. The final straw came in September 1901, when a former resident of Whitley died in Edinburgh, with his body being intended to be buried in St Paul's Churchyard in Whitley. Unfortunately, the body was mistakenly transported to Whitby, delaying the funeral. The council asked the residents to suggest new names to avoid any such errors again. The popular choice was Whitley Bay, and therefore the name has stuck. Heading back up to the cliff top, I found there was another way down to the rocks through this magical looking stone staircase. It weaves within the cliff, and I could imagine holiday goers from over 100 years ago with their towels and deck chairs ready for a few hours to themselves. The steps go all the way down to beach level, so it probably was the original route to get to the tidal pool in the days that this pool was in operation. Looking through the newspaper archives, I love this picture from the Newcastle Chronicle in 1931 of two bathers not being deterred by the weather to take their morning dip at the Table Rocks of Whitley Bay. The pool was even used for swimming competitions, with large numbers of spectators gathering on the rocks to cheer on their teams. And there must have been really hardy lasses and lads, as the water is absolutely freezing. The building of the Tynemouth Lido, which is situated down the coast, is thought to have been largely responsible for the tidal pool's demise. However, it was used well until 1971. Down this path, a little further along the Whitley Bay promenade, is another relic of the heyday of British seaside holidays. Along the way I loved these stairs to nowhere. I wonder where they originally went. There's also some old pink, white and black checkerboard paving that probably gives a clue to what we're going to see and what we can see in the distance next. This is the remains of the old Whitley Bay paddling pool. This area of the southern lower promenade was a popular spot for Whitley Bay, with crazy golf, various stalls and this paddling pool. In 1893, the local Board of Health began to convert the narrow clifftop path into a wider promenade that catered for Whitley Bay's emergence as a modern seaside resort. The paddling pool we can see here was built in 1928 alongside the sea wall, in a scheme costing £70,000 that provided much needed work for the unemployed men from the shipyards and the engineering works. This photograph shows the construction ongoing on the promenade, whilst children play in the paddling pool. The blue paint is still visible within the pool, with what looks like a whale or a fish in the centre, and I bet it was a lovely place to be during the summer months. I thought this was a really interesting contrast to the organic rock formations of the Table Rock's tidal pool, and it's such a shame that neither of these lovely pools are in operation. I actually couldn't believe how long this paddling pool was. It really is quite the size, and from the pictures I've seen from the 1950s, it was packed with children, so I can't imagine how many people it actually fits in here. I really hope you loved this little look at the largely forgotten Victorian tidal pool of Table Rocks at Whitley Bay. I really worked my socks off this day, and I can't wait to show you all of the other amazing historic gems of the North Tyneside coast. Please give this video a like and let me know your memories, and of course subscribe to continue seeing interesting snippets like this.